All right, we're going early. First look show on DK for this week. Start this thing out. Georgia taking on Mississippi State, 57.5 over under, 32.5 for Georgia, 25 for Mississippi State. Feels a little heavy on Mississippi State to me. Blake Shapen got pulled last week. They tried some new things out. Still played pretty decent, came back in that one. But they were playing this Kamario Taylor a little bit, ran the football pretty well. It will be interesting to see how they use him going forward. Looks like he was 2 of 5 with a 45-yard pass and somehow ended up with a -5 pass. Don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm probably avoiding that situation just because I don't know how that's going to end up. Gunnar Stockton needs to be in play at 8,300. Do I love it? Not necessarily, but in matchups where he can blow people out, this is one I do have interest. Rushing's been pretty good for him. Excuse me. So 8,300. He has multiple rushing touchdown upside. The run game obviously been highly questionable for Georgia here. Gives me interest. I don't love it, but I have interest in Stockton at 8,300. We do have some injury situations already developing. Devon Booth with Fluff back. I'm not in on Booth at 7K. That's just too much. Fluff's now back. I think if you want to take shots on one of these Georgia backs, it's well within play. I just don't know that it can be Nate Frazier for me. He's getting the most work out of the group, but man, has he not looked good. Offensive line's not particularly good. The explosiveness of Bowens is hard to discount. He's finding the end zone more. Like, he was terrible against Auburn, don't get me wrong. But if you look at the just simple explosiveness by comparison, he was great against Bama. He was good against Ole Miss. He was good against Florida. It feels like they just need to go to Bowens. 5,300 worth shots, I would say, depending on what everybody else looks like. I don't know that I end up there, but I'm interested enough. Oh, Zach Branch is finally getting priced up. He's getting so much volume that on DK with 9, 8, and 10 catches, it's kind of hard to ignore him for 5,100. I'll be in on Zach Branch. He's usually the only guy in my pool from the Georgia side. Maybe Dylan Bell if you want to take a punt play. I could see taking shots on Dylan Bell. If there was zero good value this week, then sure, Dylan Bell would be in the pool, but we got a lot of games to run through where Dylan Bell probably ends up not being the most interesting guy south of 4K, we'll say. Anthony Evans, more of your PPR target in this offense. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Don't love it. I probably prefer Branch. Thompson's more of the deep play threat, but he's been getting plenty of target volume. Maybe I mean, that's one of those. He's priced up enough that I'm not super interested. I'd be way interested in those guys in the 4s, definitely the 3s. But that seems like a hefty tag to end up paying. They're worth it to an extent because they're going to have to throw the football. They're not going to be able to run too much on Georgia. One of the better games of the week here, BYU taking on Texas Tech, 53.5 over under, 32 points for Texas Tech, 21.5 for BYU. Bayron does not possess massive ceiling, so I don't know that I'd be in on Bayron at 68. I just don't know. The outcomes are too difficult for him to get there. Bachmeier is going to be too much at 85. I can't pay that. I know he's mobile. I know he's going to get a ton of carries. This defense is too good, and there's going to be too many negative plays. He's probably going to end up more in this Utah, Arizona range for points. I don't even know that he gets to that Utah range because 64 and a touch seems about, I think the Utah range is fair for him. 20 to 23 points would be kind of my projection. East Carolina, I think all of those are relatively close. I think 166 passing with 164 with 1 is probably a little high for me, but I would say it's in play. So 23 is probably where he ends up projecting. At 8,500, it's just not going to cut it for me. I would rather play Stockton from the game before, personally. That's interesting, though. LJ Martin should be back this week. He was practicing. It's still a question. I'm probably going to avoid either which way. Texas Tech pretty good against the ground. He's been very consistent throughout the season, but be difficult to want to jump in there. What in the world is DK doing? Jacoby Williams is a smash play at 5K. So you can go ahead and just say he's a core play for me. Yes, BYU's decent against stopping the run. They did get beat up a little bit by Iowa State on the ground with Carson Hansen. But Williams is so explosive in the pass game. How do you go for 25 points and you go from 5,300 to 5K? He should be 65, I would say, is a fair price tag for him. And even then, he'd be a good play. Jacoby Williams is the top option in this backfield. He's a better play than Cameron Dickey. Cameron Dickey does get volume, 100%. Don't disagree. He's their goal line back. Yes. But if we look at it, for 7,600, outside of the Kansas game, where he exploded for that, and we knew Jacoby Williams was banged up coming allegedly after the game. We were told Jacoby Williams was banged up heading into it. So that's why his carry talent, it was all Dickey in the second half. It was no Jacoby Williams. So I will say I'm going to buy into the fact that Jacoby Williams was just banged up in this one. And I think Jacoby Williams is a monster play at 5K. I will have a ton of Jacoby Williams. I already know that. Like, I don't even have to. You could pencil it in. He's going to be a core play and featured on Thursday, guaranteed. At 5K, he's far too cheap. That just removes the Georgia backs. Like, he's way better to play than the Georgia backs for 5K. It's not even close. Last week, we kind of saw when Martin was out. I wouldn't go. I know there's some cheap options here. They ended up playing a good bit of Preston Rex at running back. Like they just, it's not. It all goes through Bachmeier if Martin's out. So I wouldn't recommend going there. Caleb Douglas, too expensive at 64. Zero chance I'm playing that. Terrence Carter, a little overpriced. Like all of the Texas Tech pass game options are overpriced at this range. I liked Eakin coming into last week. He's just not been good, and he got an $800 price hike. Like, tell me how is it that all of these guys could be so blasé and they go from the 4s and 5s up into the 6s? Like, they all got a price hike. None of them did squat, except for, well, Caleb Douglas did. So I get Caleb Douglas getting a price hike. But otherwise, the rest of these guys should not have gotten a price hike. And yet, Jacoby Williams is freaking 5K. Let's go, Myron. I'm pumped. I'm just seeing everything for the first time. And I can tell you right now, immediately, Jacoby Williams is I've seen the Georgia Mississippi State pricing. Jacoby Williams is going to be a core play, and it's not close. There's zero reason for him to have gotten a price decrease heading into this game. So I will play Jacoby Williams all day, every day in this spot. He's just too explosive. I like Parker Kingston at 5,300. That's not a bad price for him. He gets a ton of volume. Like I said, I've been saying it all year. He's got the Puka Nacua role from when he was at BYU. He's going to get 5 to 7 catches. He's going to get 2 to 3 carries. He's got speed. He works well with Bachmeier. I have no problems playing him. I'm not going to stack Bachmeier with him. He's too overpriced, but I will play one-offs of Kingston. And I also like Chase Roberts. They're not counting the fact that Chase Roberts plays, it has a similar role to these other guys. I don't mind shots on Chase Roberts and Parker Kingston. I probably prefer Roberts given the context. I'm usually not a guy who plays $4,500 guys. I usually get down into 3s and up into the 5s and 6s. But at 4,500, if I'm there, I don't mind. There's not much difference between Roberts and Kingston. The ball just goes through those two, and they're going to play from behind. They're going to have to throw the football. I don't love the Texas Tech options. I'm probably going to end up playing this game solely through one of these two, and then I'm just going to play a ton of Jacoby Williams. Yeah, yeah. That's my thing. I don't understand how Dickey continues to be 76, 7,700. Like, yes, he popped off in this game, but outside of that, I just there it hasn't been there. Dickey still got 21 carries in that game, which is insane. But Jacoby Williams, great play, great play. This game, I'm so happy they included it because this game's going to be fun. Like neither of these teams are particularly good. 55.5 over under, 31-point projection on West Virginia after they stomped a mud hole in Houston. Willie Fritz got out Willie Fritz. And then Colorado's got a 24.5-point projection. That feels a little high. What's up, Warren? So Juju Lewis is going to start this week in Morgantown. This whole offense is a dumpster fire. I want nothing to do with Juju Lewis in this spot. That's where I'm at with that. I like Salter could come in. Anybody could come in. I don't trust that Colorado offense. I'm not going to play Juju Lewis at 6,300. I will, however, be interested in Scotty Fox at 6,200. He may end up being a core play after he ran for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns, threw for 157 on Houston, threw for 301 against TCU. I'm interested in Scotty Fox. This Colorado defense is given up. Oh boy, 6,200. That's probably going to end up being a core play with a 31-point projection. That's hard to ignore Scotty Fox there. So more West Virginia. I mean, we're going to play a lot of Bird Ficklin against Colorado. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. We get Dior Hubbard at 4,800 for 29, after 29 carries and 2 catches. So I think you could play Scotty Fox. I think you could play Dior Hubbard. This is a running offense. Got to remember that. I think both of them are well within play. Y'all know I'm never playing Colorado running backs. They're just a crap show. What did Bowers do? 9 for 65? That's a good, yeah. I'm interested in Hubbard. I'm interested in Fox. I'd say that's kind of where my interest level ends with them. I'm not a Cam Vaughn guy. Ceiling's not there, and especially at 6,200, I have no interest. And then you got your Gallagher's, Weimer. I'm just not interested in these guys. I'm interested in the run game. That's what they do well. Is that Grayson Barnes? Man, I haven't thought about him in forever. Used to play at NIU. Did like him at NIU, but yeah, I think I agree with you, Myron. You go Fox, you go Hubbard, you take all of the rush production, and then you just call it a day. You just get out of there. Now, if you are going to play anything, I would say that I'm interested in this. If you're going to play anything on the way back, if I'm playing both Fox and Hubbard, I don't mind Omarion Miller for 4,800, but that's the only Colorado player I'm willing to play because he's playing great, and he's the guy getting all the target volume. I think a 100-yard game and multiple scores is well within play for him. Reminder, they got absolutely stomped by Arizona. He still finished with 5 for 91 and 2. They're getting him numbers. So I think he's showcasing himself to find a new landing spot after this season when Dion inevitably says that he's retiring due to medical issues. No hate on him if he does, because ultimately what he did, it was a magical ride with, I won't say both sons. I will say Shadur, because I think Shiloh was a detriment to the team personally. But, I'd still think it was a good job by him to take that team and make it what he made it. Indiana taking on Penn State, 48.5 over under in this one, 31.5 for Indiana, 17 for Penn State. Once again, still feels high. I'm going to keep on that. I'm not playing anybody from Penn State. I don't care. They're irrelevant to me. I don't know how much I can trust Mendoza going forward. I think you can play him. Surratt's burned me multiple weeks at this point. He got hurt last week against Maryland. Indiana's frustrating me right now. Hemby got there, but I'm not going to play Roman Hemby at 6,400. I told y'all they were going to get him that touchdown. They did. I'm not playing Hemby at 6,400. It's just too volatile in this spot. You're getting plenty of Caleb Martin, plenty of Kalon Black. I refuse to play Katron Allen or Nick Singleton. This is one of the best. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Warren. I do like him though. I know Jay Whitty. That's the next game. We're gonna have a little spiel here. So Omar Cooper now priced ahead of Elijah Surratt. Surratt ended up leaving with a hamstring issue. I'm out on Surratt this week. If you're gonna play anybody, play Omar Cooper. That's fine. You can play EJ Williams. That's fine. I'm ultimately, golly, that I cannot tell you how many teams I had that were so good that ended up with with Elijah Surratt. I'm probably just going to avoid Indiana for the most part this week, thinking that this game ends up just being a nasty Iowa style game. And maybe Penn State can conjure something up on the defense side of the football. They're still talented. So I'm probably just in full avoid mode for this game. I'm going to lean on that West Virginia quarterback running back. I'm going to lean on Jacoby Williams as great value. And that's going to lead us to this. So look, I will tell you. I said it before. I have a blind spot. My blind spot is Ohio State. I was right. Jay Whitty said, Sayin paid off. He 100% did. Now, what I will say is I was correct in saying that Darian Mensah had the same upside and the same floor for 2,000 less. He did. So my Mensah, Barkate, and Quayshawn Brown was as good, if not better, than the Sayin and the Sayin double with Jeremiah Smith. And look, as an ode, I put Jeremiah Smith behind me for today. He's on the thumbnail. I refuse to get burned by this anymore. So I will be playing Julian Sayin doubles going forward because I don't think their run game's particularly great. I agree with you, Myron. I think Julian Sayin is the Heisman leader right now. So, and he looks like Oscar Piastri. I'm pretty certain. I need to look that up because I actually am. I'm actually interested in this. I swear to goodness, he looks like Oscar Piastri. Like, I swear. Oh my goodness, he does. It's not the same, but it's close enough that I see it. It's what I see when I see him. So, Julian Sayin keeps getting there. I keep saying he can't get away with this. He throws for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns every week. The rushing, still non-existent. But look, I'm going to play him. Here, actually, I'm going to put my guys that I'm most interested in so far into this team, just for reference here. Scotty Fox, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Sayin looks like he's 14. It's very Oscar Piastri-ish. So Carnell Tate continues to be criminally underpriced at 5,700. Can he burn you? Yes. But the difference is the combination of Tate and Smith cannot burn you because Sayin keeps going off. So I will tell you, I'm going to have this in my team. I'm not saying all of this, but there will be plenty of Sayin, Smith, Tate. I can't help it. I've got to capitulate to the masses. I bought Carson Beck, and Carson Beck gave me the blade. We knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I said it before it happened. I knew it was going to happen. Devin Maccabee now out going forward. That's going to open up a ton of rushing volume. Unfortunately, they're facing Ohio State, and you can't play anybody. It will end up being Malachi Thomas going forward. That's my opinion. I would go Malachi Thomas in matchups after this, but not in this particular one. Bo Jackson still feels underpriced. He still gets 100 yards. He still finishes in the 13 to 15 point range. But man, where's the upside, Bo? Where's the upside? Because C.J. Donaldson just somehow comes in, he gets his touchdown, and that's it. Like, I'm not playing CJ Donaldson. If I was playing anybody, I think the Bo Jackson ceiling game eventually comes. Maybe this is it because of how poor Purdue is against the ground. I will keep Bo Jackson in my pool. It's just these two plays are so good that it's going to be hard to get away from them. Like I said, Carnell Tate, 5,700. He's probably going to end up being a core play just because everybody rolls coverage to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, man, I couldn't have been more angry with that freaking touchdown. I was like, Sayin's giving me the blade right now. And it's because he hits a guy in the hand, it pops in the air, and then it falls right to Jeremiah somehow. I don't know. They're just running on a different level right now. So I'm more than happy to play Jeremiah. 6 for 123. My buddy texted me right after Jeremiah scores the first touchdown. He goes, Jeremiah, massive game. And I'm like, buddy, he's got to score 30 for him to be a massive game. Like, 20 isn't cutting it. Like, he has had 3 games where he has legitimately paid off. Grambling, Ohio, and then Penn State. Like, those are the only 3 games where he's actually hit value from that standpoint. These are disappointing results. 18, 15, 25, and 22, all very disappointing results. 4 weeks in a row, he had disappointing. It's a good floor, but the ceiling wasn't there. So I think we see him get back to it. He's going to be good either which way. I have no problems. I'm playing that. Do I really want to play? I don't know that I want to end up in these. Has Ryan Brown been just trash? I mean, we played the crap out of him early in the season, and he's been doo-doo lately. Has Singleton been playing? Interesting. I don't know that I can get to. I'm not going to play anybody on this side. I mean, Michael Jackson, I was a fan of early in the season, but the matchup's just too terrible. I'm out on Purdue. I'll play some Ohio State doubles. I'll play some of my guy, Bo Jackson, but that's it. I love it. They finally wised up. I really do wish I would have won a ton of money if they would have put that Illinois game against Rutgers on the slate because I loved Luke Altmaier doubles, and they ended up doing great on FanDuel. Rutgers hosting Maryland, 58.5 in this one. Maryland, 30. Rutgers, 28.5. This has game stack written all over it. So I don't mind Kaliakmanis. I don't love playing Kaliakmanis. So I'm probably going to end up being out on this to an extent. They play Rutgers overs are undefeated. Kaliakmanis doesn't run enough, but he puts up so much from a pass volume standpoint that the yardage is going to be there. If I was going to play a quarterback in this game, it would be Malik Washington. He has struggled. I think Mike Locksley, contrary to belief, even though he hadn't been fired yet, is going to eventually get the can. Malik Washington's a hell of a good player. He's got to showcase himself here going forward. This is a showcase game for him. Rutgers absolutely abysmal on defense. At 7,700, I'm going to be willing to take shots. Is he going to be in my high-end stuff? Probably not, but I'll be willing to take shots. Antoine Raymond, yes, please. I will be playing him. So if I was going to play a game stack, it's going to be Raymond. It's going to be one of the Rutgers wide receivers and Raymond with Malik Washington, potentially DeJuan Williams, although at 5K, I definitely prefer Jacoby Williams, but he is the number one pivot at 5K to pivot off of Jacoby Williams for the same price because nobody's going to play him, but his pass reception volume is great, and he is an explosive player taking on a Rutgers defense that is essentially the gif of the guy in the soccer thing who's doing the security and doesn't touch anybody. Nolan Ray absolutely sucks. You don't have to worry about him. I do like DeJuan Williams paired with Malik Washington and Antoine Raymond. They made it tough. They actually made it tough. So Shalik Knotts is the guaranteed guy that you're going to play with. I prefer him as a Maryland play with Malik Washington. He's my preferred stack partner. I'm not an Octavian Smith guy. I'm not a Jaleel Farouk guy. I could get talked into Fleming, but I prefer Knotts. Knotts is my one guy that I will play. So if I'm playing Washington, if I was playing a stack, it would be Washington, DeJuan Williams, Shalik Knotts as my 3 from Maryland. I'll play Antoine Raymond from Rutgers because he's going to get all the rush volume. And then it becomes an interesting decision. So Ian Strong is the best wide receiver of the bunch. He was banged up going into last week. He only has 2 touchdowns on the season. That somewhat worries me. KJ Duff has been playing extremely well, mainly from the touchdown aspect. Gets a ton of targets. I think it's a 50-50 coin flip here between Strong and Duff. I prefer the ceiling from Strong. I think Strong's got more upside than Duff does, even though Duff's been outperforming him. But DC Sheffield's got a really nice cheap price tag in there. It hasn't been playing great, though. So I would probably prefer to go with Strong, then Duff, and I would play Knotts. So for me, it's Strong. Strong's the best option out of the bunch. My priors tell me that Strong's the best option. All right. This game, I think, ends up being just a defensive struggle. Texas A&M taking on Missouri, 48.5 in this one. Very similar to that Indiana-Penn State game. Probably just going to end up discounting it. 27.5 for A&M, 21 for Missouri. Missouri has now lost Pribula and Horn. That leaves them struggling with Matt Zollers. I'm out on the pass game for Missouri. Marcel Reed at 82, probably too much. I think he's due for a letdown game. This is a very good Missouri defense that really hemmed up Diego Pavia. I'm out on Reed. I'm out on Hardy at 77. If I was going to play anybody from Missouri, it would be Hardy, but his efficiency's gone downhill, and now with no quarterback, they could kind of zoom in on him. Reuben Owens, meh. I'm not super interested there at 56. I'd rather play those 2 5K guys and Hubbard at 48. So I'm kind of out on the run game. I think I'm just out on this game. If I was taking a shot, I'd be willing to take a shot on Craver at 4,900 because he's an absolutely explosive weapon. And taking on Missouri, that might end up being the spot to go. Concepcion's playing very well. Kevin Coleman's more of a target hog, but I'm not going there. I'm not paying 63 here. I think Craver's the only guy that I'm willing to take a shot on in this game. Personally, that's kind of the only play for me because there's a lot better games, period. This is one of them. I think Kansas, Arizona goes under the radar because there's so many other good games. 56.5 over under in this one, 31.5 Arizona, 25 for Kansas. I think you could game stack this game. Jalen Daniels has not had a ceiling game since Cincinnati. I think it's in play here. Rushing is going to be decent. He's kind of a Brennan Sorsby light. Hasn't thrown the football particularly well the last 2 weeks. That's a very disappointing result against Oklahoma State. I still think the ceiling's in there. I haven't heard any reports of him being injured, banged up, anything like that. He was really good early in the year. I think the touchdowns have just kind of dried up. I think we could see him get back to it in this spot. I reserve him for only game stack plays, though. Noah Fafita is a tough sell. Now, Myron is 100% on it. Man after my own heart. Arizona stacks are difficult, but cheap. Usually. Last week, against Colorado, I played the Fafita stack with Trey Spivey, Chris Hudson. I played a double stack. It paid out early, but they got out to such a lead that it ended up not paying out. You got to remember, we need Fafita needs to be pushed. So he can get there on volume alone because their run game's kind of doo-doo. So if Kansas can push them enough, Fafita can really get there at 7,300. I do like that. He wouldn't be a core play, but he's definitely a top GPP option. Daniels really is a game stack play for me. Only I prefer Fafita because they're going to score plenty of points. This running back room, do not play Ishmael Mahdi. I know he got 3 for 85 and 1. That was very much so in garbage time. Riscano is the top back. I do not expect them to run the football a ton. It's all flowing through Fafita right now. He's looking like a couple year ago Fafita. Highshaw's now back and healthy. He's going to end up being the top option for Kansas. I don't particularly want to play that. Um, yeah, I'm not super interested with Williams and Highshaw healthy. I would rather play it through the pass game. So Emmanuel Henderson at 59, meh. Like he outside of that one Cincinnati game, he's really been kind of meh. Bowden Grown, what did he do last week? He caught a touchdown, but he had that one game where it pass funnels through Texas Tech. That's actually a good sign for BYU. The Texas Tech stinks against the tight end. Cam Pickett, meh. Like I'll buy into something if I'm doing a game stack, but Kansas is going to be mainly game stacks for me. I'll play them through that option. Now, Arizona wise, Hudson's the best option. He's number one wide receiver on the outside. He's seeing the most target volume, but he is 5,800. Watley, I would not buy into how he scored his 17 points last week. It came kind of late, and they ended up running him a touchdown in. He caught one target. Watley's not my favorite at 4,600. Hunter's a no-go for me. I would say two favorite options are Spivey, one. He caught that 57-yarder early in that game and just didn't get any other volume when they ran out to a big lead. I liked how Spivey's he's touchdown dependent, but at 3,200, I'm willing to take the chance there. So it would be Spivey, Hudson, Watley as the 1, 2, 3 for me. I'm a long-noted Luke Weissong fan, but I don't think you can kind of go there. Yeah, that's where I would be. I wouldn't say Spivey's a core play or anything, but if I'm stacking Fafita, it would be Spivey Hudson as the double, in my opinion. All right, this next game is interesting. It should be a game stack, but I don't know yet. So 57.5 over under in this one. 32 points for TCU, 25.5 Iowa State. I've noted how Iowa State struggles with running quarterbacks. Josh Hoover is not a running quarterback. Here's the thing. I kind of hope it stays looking like this and nobody says anything and just kind of flies under the radar. Hoover allegedly had thumb surgery last week. Do we remember what John Mateer did after thumb surgery? That worries me. I'm very scared. It says he's going to play with a brace. I just read that news this morning. I think there's probably more news that I didn't see for some of these other games potentially, but I do know that news. So I might end up fading a lot of this game because of that specific piece of news. Everything lines up to say that Hoover throws for $3 bills in this one. 8,800 is a steep price tag to pay. I'd rather just pay for Julian Sayin. I know he's going to give it to me. So I mean, there's no difference between Josh Hoover and Julian Sayin in this spot. So I'm probably out on Hoover because of the thumb thing. If I get full word that the thumb thing is true, hang on, let me double check here. Oh, they deleted the post. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, well, we might have some false advertising on the Josh Hoover thing. So, see, this is the thing. I get information, but then I got guys that are vetting this stuff. Let's see. Let's double check and see if this thing was deleted. Nope, cannot retrieve post. Yeah, well, just FYI, there was somebody who tried to break some news that sources tell me TCU quarterback Josh Hoover underwent thumb surgery on his throwing hand over the bye week. He's expected to be ready for against Iowa State, but may be wearing a brace. And then cross-reference to an hour and a half later, the post has been deleted. So maybe not. We'll see. I'm taking a wait and see approach. I would have interest, but like I said, I mean, I'm gonna rank Sayin over Hoover in the same spot. Rocco at 78. It's gonna come down to can he rush for touchdowns. I'm probably out. I love Rocco. I would love him to be in the 6s. Then I'd be more interested. But at 78, it's kind of a tough sell for me. Carson Hansen, interesting play at 65. This run defense is okay, not great. He's rushed for over 100 yards each of the last 2 weeks. He's got a good receiving role in this one. I'd be interested, but not like super interested. Kavorian Barnes at 62 absolutely torched me against Baylor. I'm not playing him against Iowa State. Big Citrus, got his name right. Took me the whole season to get Big Citrus right, but he's playing pretty well. So I don't like Kavorian Barnes overall. Abu Sama has been seemingly banged up, so Hampton's getting more workload. That keeps me interested there. I just don't want to pay 6,200 for Kavorian Barnes. McAllister at 7K, maybe. I mean, I think he's in play. If you're playing Hoover, you probably need to play McAllister. Manjack, his role is gone to hell in a handbasket. Dwyer, it's just, Baylor, yes, but I don't know that I want to play him here. Not at 5,400. Rogers, like Ed Small, I like if he plays, but he's banged up. I think you're going to end up having to play one of these Iowa State guys. Bramer's playing fine, but at 4,300, do I really want to pay that for 10 points? I don't know. I'd keep him in my pool, but he's not a guy that I'm super interested in. It's more game stack there. Soel's getting targets at 3,800. I have to keep him in the pool. I don't love it. And he's given me the blade enough, but I've seen enough lately for him. I mean, I think he had 11 targets last week against Arizona State. So I'll keep him in the pool. I have an illness. I need to go to some kind of anonymous for Chase Soel, I guess. All right. This game, maybe it flies under the radar. I don't think it can. It's got 66.5 over under. Both these defenses suck. 66.5 people for Duke UConn. I love that they put this game on Slate. I didn't think they would. 38 for Duke, 28.5 UConn. Mensa is now 9,500. That's probably a tad aggressive. He went from 6,400 to 9,500. I don't know that I'm willing to pay 9,500. I'm scared for what are the wide receiver prices. I liked paying 3,200 for those guys. I like paying 5K for Barkate, but I don't know, man. UConn isn't terrible defensively. I think you're getting 25 points, but at 9,500, that ain't cutting it. Yeah, that's a tough sell for me. That's going to be a tough sell. Fagano, however, I prefer Fagano at 92. He does have a little bit of rushing ability. He throws the ball well. I don't know, man. That's tough because you got to consider opponent. You know what I mean? They're going to push each other. That's a guarantee. They priced it up. I give them credit. Like Nate Shepard's 8,200. Somebody from this game will win you something. It's just a matter of who. Cam Edwards, minimal interest here. Definitely the top back, 5,900. That's reasonable. You know what the play is here? The play is to go Anderson Castle and take shots at him at 4,600, knowing that you get that touchdown luck. It falls your way. He gets 10 carries for 92 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, it's possible. I think he's more likely to be 50 yards and 2 touchdowns. So at 4,600, I do have interest in Anderson Castle there. Oh, yeah. See, they priced everybody up, man. You know who they didn't price up? All right, so I will tell you, I love Barkate. Barkate's going to dominate in this game. And I don't disagree with Myron, who says that Skylar Bell and Cooper Barkate are going to take you to the promised land. Barkate's going to have a huge game in this one. At 7,300, he probably goes under-owned. I think this game does go under-owned now because of looking at the pricing. I think Barkate's a great play. I think Skylar Bell is a better play than Barkate at 69. Skylar Bell is going to end up being a core play. He gets all of the receiving volume in this offense. He's absolutely explosive as all get out. And this Duke defense is absolutely terrible. Juice Vereen, meh. Like, he's all touchdown based. I'm out at 4,400. Quayshawn Brown is a good play, not a great play at 4,500. He's a little priced up. Romello Murphy, no thank you. Like I said, it's Bell or nothing. If I was playing Fagano, it would be with Bell. If I'm playing Mensa, it's with Barkate. And then Andrew Anthony, he's good at catching touchdowns, but it's risky. I'd be more interested in Samir Hagans. So Hagans did get a return touchdown that kind of got him there. He caught a 2-point conversion that got him the 11 points. He got 2 of the 11. At 3,600, he's still a viable play and a good play at that. He can get you that 15, 20 points. I still think there's plenty of ceiling game in him at 3,600. I would have no issue playing Hagans. Hagans is definitely my favorite of Brown, Anthony, and Hagans. I'll play Hagans, Barkate, Bell, and then both quarterbacks as your game stack. Also, you could go away from Mensa. You could play both wide receivers without Mensa because of his price, and then play Fagnano. So I'm interested in this game very much. So I definitely have some interest. That's interesting. 5 for 55 out of 3,100. Niter. Yeah, I mean, it's Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell's a fabulous play. Skylar Bell might end up being a core play. Like, he's probably in this range. Let's be real. Probably. He's probably one of the better plays on the slate at 6,900. All right. Oregon taking on Iowa. Them corn-fed whites, as they said, I believe. I like Oregon in this game. 43.5 over under. Just a absolute snooze fest. 24.5 for Oregon, 19 for Iowa. Dante Moore, probably a hair expensive at 8K. Actually was surprised that Novosad wasn't the one who came into the game. Maybe they're trying to preserve him in this spot. 6,400 for Gronowski, given his rushing ability the last few. I mean, he scored a rushing touchdown every game. The floor is fine. It's the question of what the ceiling is. I still buy this Oregon defense. He's not going to throw for 200 yards. He's not going to score a touchdown. I don't know. 6,400 is too much for me. More than likely, I probably don't want to be there. Moulton's too expensive for my money. The question's going to become, who can you play from the Oregon backfield? Whittington came back, had 14 carries for 97 yards against Wisconsin. I like that. Davison is one hell of a good player. 16 carries, 102 and 2. I'm probably most interested in Davison because he has the best role. Deer Hill is getting carries, but they're starting to trend downward. It looks like they're starting to get more of a concentrated rotation now that Jaden Lamar is out. I think Whittington and Davison are your top two options. Playing one of them does not scare me whatsoever. I would be interested in one of those guys. I'll probably plug Davison into this lineup just for the hell of it, and then we can go back and look. But I do have interest in him. Decorian Moore, solid play at 5,100. Not great, not bad. Don't mind Kenyon Sadiq, but he's extremely touchdown dependent. He's going to be a tough sell for me. I'm okay with it, but there's better options in my money. Malik Benson, terrible. Gary Bryant Jr., meh. Like, not my favorite. He's a punt. I'm not going to play any of the Iowa passing offense. They can't throw for 200 yards. So I'm probably out on Iowa. Minimal interest in the Oregon offense. Auburn taking on Vanderbilt, 45.5, another snoozer. 26.5 for Vandy, 19 for Auburn. Pavia is too expensive. I'm not willing to play him. Auburn's defense is too good for that. I'm not willing to play either of the quarterbacks. I tell you what, if you told me Jackson Arnold was starting and Ashton Daniels was never going to see the light of day again, I'd have minimal interest in Jackson Arnold. If you told me that Deuce Knight was starting, I might have interest, at 4,500. But the fact is I don't know who's going to play. So I probably am just going to be out. Jeremiah Cobb, too expensive at 7,300. Vandy's got a good run defense. They locked up Ahmad Hardy enough that I'm out there. So I wish Alexander got volume. He just doesn't. So I'm out there. Darrell Robinson, no thank you. McCollum Young, no thank you. Coleman's too expensive. Stowers, that was his big game, but I think you can't buy into that at 5K. Maybe you could buy Richardson at 39, but probably not. Junior Sherrill, maybe, probably not. Like I just think this game's ugly. Like, yes, somebody's going to hit value here, but I'm probably just not super interested in this game. Let's see. Let's go flex 4,500 because that's where we were overall slate. So rounding this lineup out, let's just say we were playing it. All right, who do we have in here? No. Chase Roberts, I think, is a great play in this spot. So Chase Roberts would be a play. Quayshawn Brown, actually, 4,500. I felt like I saw his name was anyway. I prefer Roberts to Brown, although it's a good spot for Brown. So Roberts would be in play for me there at 4,500. Plus, we get the Williams Roberts effect. I don't mind that whatsoever. LaShawn Williams, no. And then Davison's fine at 4,300. Bowens. Oh, no, that's a different one. That's Bowers. I was looking for Chauncey. I thought that was Chauncey Bowens for a second at 4,200. I was like, hey, I didn't see that. I don't remember that being the case. I thought he was in the fives. Yeah, I would say probably Chase Roberts over. It's either Davison or Roberts is what I would play in this spot. So let's just put Roberts in for the hell of it. But that's kind of where I would be because then I get the correlation, right? So now I've got Roberts with Jacoby Williams. I get Hubbard with Fox, and then I get my triple stack, and then I get my favorite wide receiver on the slate in Skylar Bell. So plenty of value out there, very much so. I would say top games that I'm targeting. Super interested in the Ohio State doubles because I've missed out far too much. But realistically, from a games perspective, Rutgers, Maryland, I want to play that as a game stack for sure. Kansas, Arizona, I'm probably much more interested in the Arizona double with Fafita than I am in the Kansas side, but I have minimal interest there. I'd have to decide whether I want to play one of the backs with a wide receiver. Do I want to play Jalen Daniels with his bring back? Maybe I want to play that as a game stack. I think it's probably underrated. I will play that as a game stack, but it's going to be it's not high on my list. Like Maryland Rutgers, I love that game. Iowa State TCU, I will like that game, provided that I get word that was just nonsense on Josh Hoover. If it's nonsense on Hoover, I'm fine with Hoover and McAllister as a single. I'm fine with it as a double. I'm fine with Rocco. I'm fine with Hanson. I probably would play Hoover, McAllister, Hanson, Soel as my kind of like quad box on that game, expecting it to shoot out. West Virginia, Colorado, I like a good bit. Like I said, Fox, Hubbard, and Omarion Miller for the Colorado side. That's probably the only three that I'm willing to play from that, but that'll be a three-man tandem that I'm happy to get in there. What is the price on Omarion Miller? Let me double check that because I actually do have. So yeah, he's 4,800. So if I had 300 more, let's say you were going down from Skylar Bell or something, I would get Omarion Miller in here, no problem as the bring back there. And then Duke UConn, I think, is completely worth trying to hammer as much as you can. I think Skylar Bell ends up being a core play. Jacoby Williams ends up being a core play, and Scotty Fox is a core play. I think I've already locked in that those three are core plays for me. So they're going to be locked in a lot of lineups, Fox, Williams, and Skylar Bell. So I will be back tomorrow with FanDuel. Underrated game of the week is going to come up later today. I already recorded it this morning. I just got to get it edited and uploaded and get all the tags and everything in it. So I'll be back tomorrow with FanDuel. Thursday will be the DK player lineup, player pool, which you already know 3 of the core plays because I don't see any way they're not. So should be an easy week to build. There is some very high dollar stuff, very high end guys, but there's plenty of value as well to build around. So good luck this evening on Maction. Parker Navarro